All right, and we are live. What is up, YouTube boxing family? It is K Rod here, back with another good YouTube boxing live stream. Um, yeah, let's get right to it, man. If you guys want to come through, here's the link. Obviously, no trolls allowed. Uh, yeah, this is only for family. So yeah, come through if you guys want to. But what is up, guys? It is K Rod here once again. I will be making a final fight prediction for what you gonna call it, the Terrell Gausha versus Tszyu fight card, and the Miguel Berchelt versus Jeremiah Nakathila fight card, and then I'll talk about the two other fights that are on the Pro Box promotions card that I'm looking forward to. Marcellus Walder versus Eric Abraham. Wanted to give a quick little shout out to Mr. Eric Abraham. He's a local fighter out here in the Capital District that fights out of Schenectady. He'll be fighting Deontay Wilder's brother, um, Marcellus Walder, and I believe that is the very first fight out of the Pro Box Promotions card that is happening down in Florida, over in Plant City. And I think honestly, that's going to be a good fight, and I hope Mr. Abraham can try his best to get the victory. But I think personally, for that fight alone, that's going to be a very, very difficult fight because Marcellus Walder, he could still hit, and he could still make a fight. So I think it's going to be a good chess match. So I'm definitely looking forward to how that fight goes down, and I will try to stream that fight for Friday for this upcoming weekend. So I'm gonna try doing about the same thing for the Pro Box, promotions card. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. Um, Also, shout out to Julio Solis. I'm not so sure if he is fighting for this upcoming Friday, but I hope so. He will also be on that card as well. I don't know who his opponent's gonna be. Um, I think honestly, he should be on the card. I don't understand why, but I find that pretty weird how he's not, listed on the fight card. But if he still does have a fight, I will keep you guys updated. I asked him earlier to see, if that's still, like a possibility. But I'm pretty sure he's still good to have like a fight for this upcoming Friday. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting. The weigh-ins are tomorrow, so I guess like we'll find out who he's gonna be fighting. I'm pretty sure he's gonna fight like a good, decent, decent level opponent, and that should be a good fight card. Um, I'm still trying to find out, uh, like what the um fight card, is being put together for, but I don't see like what happened with the whatchamacallit, the card itself. Hold on, let me take a look at it. Yeah, Najee Lopez, he's on the main card. He's fighting a 6-1 Anthony Stewart. And then Jacob Gomez, yeah, he's at a Puerto Rican kid that'll be on that card. And he's fighting like another Puerto Rican, Pedro Hernandez. And then Josiah Shirley, I don't know him. Uh Yeah, there's also that other dude, Imran Habada. Yeah, I think I saw him last time. Yeah, that was back in February. Yeah, I actually saw him. Yeah, knock out his recent like opponent. So he'll be fighting like once again on that card. So yeah, that'll be pretty good. But nah, nothing special with this card. Um, Julio should be on the card. I don't understand why he's not listed on the card, but definitely looking forward to seeing what's gonna happen. So yeah, I'll keep you guys updated. I'm not so sure what happened with that, but yeah, I'll keep you guys updated for that card. But the two fights that I'm definitely looking forward to is definitely the Walder versus Abraham fight, That's actually supposed to be the third fight on the card, as is shown on Tapeology. And then the other fight, yeah, for Julio, I don't know when he's gonna fight, but I'll give you guys the update if he, comes out with any, recent information. So yeah, let's get right to it. So we're gonna be breaking down the Showtime card between Tszyu and Terrell Gausha fight card. Um, I'm only gonna cover like three fights. I mean, all the other fights that are on here, like Bakram, Murtazaliev versus that Canadian dude, I don't really care about that. I think Bakram's, gonna win. And then Brian Mendoza versus Benjamin Whitaker, that's a good ass fight. Definitely be on the lookout to watching that fight if they ever Well, honestly, I really hope Showtime could actually, Showtime could be posting the preliminary, undercard, because I don't see why they can't do that. But I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that fight or seeing how that fight's going to play out. So definitely, be on the lookout for that. But on top of that, let's also, see what's going on with the other fights. There's like a lot of good fighters here. Michael Angeletti, he's a good, decent fighter. He's a 122 pounder that's going to be facing Angel Luna. He's not that good of a fighter. He's a Dominican guy that he's more of like a journeyman because he got knocked out by Malik Montgomery. He got knocked out by Adon Ochoa, Mark Castro, in which these are like up and coming rookies, but still, I mean, he's more of like a journeyman type of gatekeeper fighter, but that should be a decent fight for Michael. Hopefully, he's able to get the job done. Also, Joey Spencer, he's on the card as well. He's going to face a really good Uzbekistani fighter. His name is Rashvan Huda De Nazarov. Yeah, like I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but he's a decent fighter. He's not like the best fighter. He's a 37-year-old fighter, but he'll be fighting him. He's a pretty decent type of boxer. I mean, if anything, he's more of like a come forward, pressure style fighter. He only has 14 KOs and he's been stopped twice by guys of Santiago Dominguez and Ronald Cruz. So, I mean, nothing special, honestly. I mean, his resume doesn't really speak any volume, but I don't like to see this fight, happen for Joey. I think Joey deserves a much better opponent. I mean, he's only 14-0. So I probably say at this point, knowing that Joey, he's going to be fighting at what, 154 or like, I don't know if this fight is at 160 or 154, but if it's at 154, I'd like to see him face any top 25 super welterweight contender, or just do the same thing at 160. So I like to see Joey do that. I think that would be better for his career, and I think eventually we're gonna have to start talking about him being in that mix with like all the top guys to see how good he is, because I'd say like at this point, you're heading into your 15th professional fight, and I say at this point, throughout your career, you need to start being tested now. If you're gonna want to, get to a world title, and I mean, like the crazy thing is that Joey's 22 years old, so it's like Joey has plenty of time to progress in his career, but it's like, at what point are we gonna say that Joey's ready for like a world title? And I would probably say like not now, but I would probably say within like the next year or two. I think that's when we'll see Joey Spencer rise to become a better fighter. But I think at this point of his career, he needs to stop fighting 8 rounders. He needs to start fighting 10 rounders and 12 rounders, because fighting these 8-round fights, that's not going to get you ready for the world title level. And I find that really weird and very suspect that Joey would be doing that heading into your 15th bout. So my criticism is really high on Joey because I personally want to see Joey succeed, but at this point of your career, you need to be calling some guys out. You got to start fighting some high level opposition, but fighting a guy like this guy doesn't cut it. So hopefully Joey heading into 2022 can start facing bigger names, because the 16th and the 17th and the 18th and 19th and 20th fight should not be no more 8 rounders. It should start being 10 rounders, 12 rounders, and then you could start getting world title opportunities. So definitely need to step it up, Joey. So that's my harsh criticism towards him. Like, I ain't got nothing bad up against Joey. He's a well gifted, talented fighter, and I wish him nothing but the best. But also, let's just talk about the 3 fights. We'll just talk about Elvis Rodriguez versus Juan Velasco, Michel Rivera versus Joseph Adorno. That's going to be a hell of a firefight. Hopefully, Joseph Adorno, he better make some weight, boy. Come on, bro. He better be making weight on the scale come Fridays. So hopefully he doesn't screw up this opportunity, because if he does, that's not going to be good. So I'm really hoping he doesn't do that, and I'm really hoping that he doesn't, waste that opportunity. But yeah, let's talk about Elvis, and then Michelle, and then Tim versus Terrell. So this fight between Elvis and Juan Jose Velasco, I think this fight is going to be a very good, difficult fight. Um, I don't know too much about Juan Velasco, but I've heard some things about him where, he does have a good, decent puncher's chance to give you some respect. It seems like he's more of just a, you know, basic standard boxer, but he tends to be more very, how should I say, passive aggressive with his technique. And, his only losses that have came by knockout was to former world champions by Mario Barrios and Regis Prograis. And I find that very interesting because knowing that he fought these guys back in 2018 and 2019, it's still weird to the fact that he gets this opportunity to fight Elvis fast forward 3 years later. And knowing that a mass majority of his fights were either in Argentina or in Mexico and some in the US, it doesn't surprise me that, he gets this opportunity to fight him. So I'm not so sure how the PBC really ever came about to get this opponent for Elvis, because I would think, like, knowing that Elvis is campaigning at, I think this is at welterweight if I'm not mistaken, because I don't think Elvis fights at 140 anymore. He fights at welterweight. But if this is in welterweight, I mean, like, yeah, good for you. But at the same time, I would like to see Elvis, try to step up his competition higher, and I think eventually he's going to have to start doing that, because heading into these bigger fights, knowing that he's only 26 years old, I would say the time to step it up is now. So that way later on, he's able to get those difficult fights in case he does lose, heading into the contender stages. And then he could start, getting that world title level experience to be ready for all the top guys. But Elvis Rodriguez is 12-1-1. He's only lost once to Kenneth Sims Jr., and he got a draw with Joe Queen Chavez. That was back in the past, back in like 2019. But ever since then, from the Kenneth Sims Jr. loss, he's been on a tear. He knocked out Juan Pablo Romero. That was an undefeated Mexican fighter. He knocked him out in 5. But yeah, that was a good, decent victory. And I mean, Juan Jose Velasco, that'll be his next opponent. Fast forward to now. Um, I think this is a good fight. Like honestly, like how I see this fight is that this is gonna be. Oh hey, what's up, bro?
What's up, dude? I
Yeah,
don't want to interrupt your flow. Go ahead. I just saw you had the link.
yeah. I apologize.
Nah, it's cool. Go ahead, continue.
Basically, like what I was trying to say is that for Elvis Rodriguez, like my final prediction of how I see this fight potentially going is that I think Rodriguez is going to try to press this guy, and I think Juan Velasco he's going to try to outbox him, but I think it's going to just be like the same Elvis Rodriguez that he did to his last opponent, and he's going to get him up out of there. But I think it's going to be late.
Yeah, I just pulled up the entirety of the fight card on BoxRec right now. I ain't gonna cap. This card look like ass, bro. Like
Yeah,
I like it's a lot of ass on this card, and not in a good way.
yeah,
This shit is some bullshit. Like the only ones I see that are gonna be any. I understand they need to give some of their stable some exposure, especially the new booty. But the only things I'm looking at are I'm looking at Trayvon Marshall. You know, he looks cool. Elvis Rodriguez, I'm looking forward to. The Michelle Rivera and Joseph Adorno looks sweet. But
yeah,
they got Joey Spencer against who the fuck is that? They got Brian Mendoza against Ben Whitaker. Like, man, this is some straight bullshit right here. But
yeah,
but yeah, man, like yeah, I don't like this. Don't get me wrong, I'm excited for the Sue Gachet fight. Don't get it twisted, but the rest of this card, it looked like ass. It looked like some
yeah,
straight ass.
yeah. That's why that I didn't want to cover like the complete card, but like honestly, like I think like the main card for the first, well, for the co-main and the main event, that's gonna be like the more entertaining fight.
I
So
mean, we might get some surprise bangers because Trayvon Marshall's going up against an undefeated guy. Trayvon Marshall's have 4 fights. The guy he's fighting has 3 fights. They're both undefeated, so that's cool, you know. But yeah, they got to step up some of the new stock. I'm honestly for outside of like the popular fighters like Jesus Ramos and Orayo and Frank Martin and all the people we know. I'm most excited to look at some of the Cuban muscle PBC got on heavyweight, like Leonard Piro and
yeah,
Brazon. Yeah, I want to see those dudes unleashed. Like I'm happy they fought each other. Don't get it twisted, but I want to see them unleashed on the rest of the division because I think Piro especially gonna do some damage.
yeah. Pero, dude, he has a mean fucking jab for real.
I think Piro fuck around and beat Andy Ruiz right now.
Yeah,
They were talking about him needing an opponent, and people looking at Luis Ortiz. I'm like, that's cool too, but I mean, why not Piro? He's a rookie. Test him out. Should be
yeah,
should be some easy work, right?
yeah. Easy work.
Okay.
Honestly, like I actually want to mind Steven Torres too because Steven Torres, even though that he's like he's a rookie, in the heavyweight division, but if Andy Ruiz wants to get that work, in with somebody, I think Steven Torres would definitely take that fight.
I know he'd take it, but I don't know. I need to see a little bit more from him. I understand they're trying to sell him and market him early as like some boxing Einstein or whatever, but yeah, I need to see a little bit more out of him before I just because that's out of respect for him. I wouldn't want to just go ahead and put him up against Andy Ruiz and what like his third fight or some shit.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Like, how you gonna elevate him from nobody to former unified heavyweight champion of the world? Like, people can say what they want about Andy Ruiz. People can talk all the shit they want about him. But the fact of the matter is, at one point in the heavyweight division, whether you want to say it or not, he was the man, even if it was just between 2 fights.
Yeah, I agree. Honestly, like a lot of people tend to forget that Andy basically had the heavyweight division on notice, and I mean, honestly, the heavyweight division could have easily been unified for undisputed between him and Deontay Wilder and Andy Ruiz. He just wasn't focused. like in the rematch between him and Anthony Joshua. So
Yeah, not to mention with the amount of step aside bread they would have to pay Anthony Joshua, shit. He was like, "Let me go ahead and just get that back to back payday." Because the thing is, like, because this was a time where he saw he was able to hurt AJ, so he was like, "Fuck it, all I gotta do is connect one more time." But with Wilder, he was like, "I don't know if I'm gonna be close enough to even do anything." But yeah, nah. But yeah, I don't want to interrupt the primary topic of the show. What's the primary topic?
oh yeah. Like I'm just giving like my final thought, like predictions for the fight cards, for this upcoming Saturday. But let's just cover up on the co-main event and the main event, and then we'll talk about Burchell and Nakafila.
Yeah, I like Michelle Rivera and Joseph Adorno. It's a good fight. It's definitely a good fight. I favor Michelle Rivera for multiple reasons. Even though Adorno is very skilled, very talented, very quick, I think that Michelle Rivera, has a little bit more punch diversity, a little bit more accuracy, um, and I think also, well, let me get to it. I'm on his box right. Yeah, and I think, I think he just shows a little bit more. Even though at 135 his power, is kind of touch and go at this point. I definitely prefer him at 140. I think he shows a little bit more separation in the skills department. Like I said, punch diversity, accuracy, the way he picks his shots, the way he gets in and out of trouble, his ability to fight on the inside, and I think he's going to get in there and hurt Adorno. I think he's going to probably decision him decisively, and I think that's how it's going to go.
Yeah, same here. But I personally think how the fight's gonna go is that Michelle's just gonna outbox him, and then if he finds those opportunities to possibly hurt Joseph, I think he's gonna try knocking him out. But I think honestly, Joseph Adorno, he doesn't really have that much, breathing room in this fight. Because if Michelle can, take his punches, he'll sit up inside, let the pocket all night to basically just go blow for him. And I think Joseph Adorno will be at a major disadvantage if Michelle can, basically dog walk him.
Well, I wouldn't recommend Michelle do that because he is coming down in weight and he has been dropped before. So I wouldn't recommend him sit in the pocket unnecessarily. I recommend he go ahead and stick to his boxing skills. Of course, if you can land a power shot, drop him or stop him, take the opportunity. But I wouldn't recommend he just chill out in the pocket, especially at 135.
Yeah.
Like if he was at 140, I'd be like, yeah, fuck it, okay, go ahead. But since there's been some noticeable power drop off at 135, in addition to because he is growing, and usually when you're getting older, you don't come back down and weight unless you're fucking Rigondeaux, I guess. And we've all seen how his career's gone. So I wouldn't recommend doing all that. But yeah, hopefully we'll see something good out of him so we can step him up some because Josh Taylor's coming up off the belts at 140. We don't know if the Kambosos fucking Haney fight is even going to happen. I know that's why they sent him back there to 135 because they thought the division was about to be tied up right now. But that's why I think that's another reason why I think he should have waited at 140 because now Taylor about to come off the belts and he could have been in position to challenge for a vacant. But now he's fucking at 135. Bullshit. And we got to wait on Kambosos. But that's just me.
Yeah, that's so fucked up, man. And then on top of that, Tiafimo gets that opportunity to fight Leon Perro for the WBO.
Yeah, that's bullshit as well. I mean, hopefully Tio shows something, either more power or more boxing ability at 140 because I haven't done that much research on Liam Perro. All I know is that he's another undefeated Australian dude. So we've all seen how that worked out with Tio last time, even though technically Kambosos is Greek. We, we just, I don't know. He doesn't have a lot of luck with undefeated niggas from Australia. So he better figure some shit out.
Yeah, Liam Perro, he's nothing special. He had his last fight with Yamar Alamo, but that was on the Jake Paul, Woodley 2 undercard.
All right.
And I mean, honestly, I don't really see anything special out of him. I actually thought he actually lost that fight against Yamar Alamo
I mean,
because
shit.
Alamo actually dropped in that fight, if I'm not mistaken. And I want to say he, decisively won at least 6 rounds, to four. I think that was a 10 rounder, but still, um, Yeah, Pero's like not a big threat, and I think that's why Bob Arum was able to get that put together for him, so that way Teofimo can be a champion going into 140 as soon as Josh Taylor vacates.
I mean, shit, we thought the same thing about Cambosis. I mean, this guy's got 22 wins, 13 knockouts, and personally, I thought Cambosis lost his last fight too to Lee Selby, and Lee Selby can't punch your jack shit. So we gotta, I understand that there's a power differential, but that's been proven time and time again to not matter in a lot of situations. I mean, I'm not gonna say power doesn't matter completely, but it's been shown that superior boxing skill can supplant power in a lot of different situations. That's kind of
Yeah,
like why I have my opinion about Devin Haney and Tank, as you might have heard earlier. The consensus was against that, and I'm okay with that. That's fine. I think it's a good fight. If Tank comes in and knocks Haney's head off his shoulders, that's great. If Tank gets decisioned or something by Haney, that's also great. But it's just been shown, like Cambosis versus Tiafimo, Selby versus Cambosis. There's been plenty of situations where superior skill and intellectual choices have been able to supplant power.
yeah. But on top of that, it's like, if I'm the superior boxer, but I have zero power, but I'm still able to keep you off of me, knowing that you are also a very good schooled boxer puncher, I could still find those ways to suppress your power no matter how hard you try to hit me, because eventually you're going to gas out. You're going to show those flaws, in the late games. So that way I could find those, little holes to take advantage of you. And eventually you're going to crack, to some point of that fight. And I think how that fight will play out between between Devin and Tank is that Gervonta, he's going to try going for the knockout. I don't think Gervonta is going to be able to outbox Devin, just simply because Devin, he's a taller and rangier fighter. And then on top of that, Gervonta, he has to find a way to get in. He can't just try to step into the pocket and just hope that Devin's going to sit there right in front of him. Devin's going to constantly move, everywhere in the ring. And I think that's going to be Gervonta's biggest flaw heading into that fight, where he's not going to have this type of, pocket range, advantage over Devin.
Yeah, I mean I'm not gonna say that Tank won't be able to get inside. He definitely will, but I think that like it's been shown in previous fights, Devin has the ability to utilize veteran tactics, kind of like Jamel versus Shakur Stevenson, Jamel Herring versus Shakur Stevenson, and in a lot of other situations to be able to smother a lot of the offense. But I didn't get a chance to say it because I was at work and I had to log in, handle some business, but now I just logged off. I didn't get a chance to say it, but the same logic that people use for Tank beating Haney is the same exact logic people use for Bud beating Spence. So I just think that it's weird that when it comes to Tank and Haney, oh, it makes no sense that Haney wins, but when it comes to Crawford and Bud utilizing the same arguments, I mean Crawford and Spence when utilizing the same arguments is like, oh, well, Spence still has an opportunity. It's like, all right. I mean, it's literally the
Yeah,
same set of circumstances. Like Tank, like Tank is going up 3 weight classes, and Spence hasn't moved, or Crawford is going up 3 weight classes, and yeah, the Tank is going up 3 weight classes. Haney hasn't moved. Bud is going up 3 weight classes. Spence hasn't moved. So this is one of those things in boxing. Like you can try to I know there's a lot of nuance, but it's like y'all are using the same set of circumstances, but then mixing them up for different fighters. Like it's literally the same set of circumstances.
yeah,
Because people say, "Oh, Spence doesn't have any power anymore. He's been in too many accidents. He's been washed. He's been hit. He's been stumbled. He couldn't knock this out. He couldn't knock that out." And I'm like, "Yeah, the Bud fans say the same thing about Haney." So I just found it weird that everyone was cool with that. And also, I think that like, especially when it comes to black folks, people relate to Tank on like a personal level. That's why whenever they're talking about him beating someone, it's always like some personal shit. It's always like, oh, his background, he came from poverty, he came from the hard streets and all that good stuff. And I'm like, that's cool, but none of that shit matters. Like none of that shit matters. Like his upbringing and the foster care system and where he's from and all that stuff. That has no determination on your, when the pressure's on, your ability to bite down and win a fight. Because trust, I've heard the same shit all my life. I'm from here, so that means X, Y, Z. It doesn't mean shit.
No.
It doesn't mean shit. And with all due respect, I get a little tired of hearing it. I didn't, like I said, I didn't get a chance because there was like a lot of people, on the panel on and off, and I didn't want to hog up the mic. But whenever people reference like someone's personal, like, oh, I'm from here, so therefore, that's good. But your zip code isn't fighting for you. None of that, none of that fucking shit matters, bro. Like your level of poverty does not determine your level of grit when you get into actual combat, when you're facing actual resistance. People, I can't. I'm sorry, I just can't stand people harp on that. Like, oh, he's a dog, and I'm not saying he's not a dog, but him being from Baltimore and not having enough food to eat as a child is not gonna factor into fucking boxing. Like, it's not, and the shit's aggravating. I understand y'all can relate to him personally, maybe because he has a story that's sellable, but fuck that shit, man.
Yeah, like what pisses me off is that people try to get super, emotional over, particular fighters, and I'll even use, the main event for Tszyu versus Terrell Gausha. I basically pissed off like a couple Australians in some boxing, archive feed. I think it was on Facebook, but I basically said if Terrell Gausha does the same thing that he did to Jamonte Clark to Tszyu, would you guys give credit to, Terrell Gausha for actually beating like a top known, like top known super welterweight? And then those Tim Zoo, like man fans were trying to tell me, nah, Terrell Gausha, he's like a bum, he ain't that good, blah blah blah. He's never won like a world title. But then, if I change
Neither
it
has
to
Tszyu.
yeah. So when I change that same logic to Tim Zoo beating Terrell Gausha, those same people, tell me, oh, Tim Zoo, he'll be on the top of the division because, he beat Terrell Gausha that got beat by, Lubin, and then, he then went off to beat some other good guys, and then what? Like, like it doesn't make any sense.
That's how it always is, bro. That's
Yeah.
how it always is. And another thing that Australians got to understand is that the Zoo family is not fucking Australian. Just like the Cambosos family is not fucking Australian. The Zoos are a mixture of Russian, Mongol, and Korean.
Yes,
These
sir.
these motherfuckers are not Australian. That's why they actually whoop ass. Jeff Horn's bitch ass is from Australia. That's why his career went the way it went, and his best win he had to get a fucking robbery off of, even though that's highly contested. But all the best fighters from Australia are almost never from fucking Australia.
Yeah.
So it's like I that's just fucking hilarious to me. How they're like, oh, Australia's on the map. I'm like, bro, y'all need bailouts. It's just like the French soccer team kicks ass because a lot of their talent is from Africa. Just like most of the best British fighters are not from fucking the United Kingdom. They're from
No, not like
Jamaica. Yeah, they're from Jamaica and Africa and other places. So that's one thing. I like Tim Zoo, personally. I like not that that matters. I like his energy. I like his confidence. He's like, fuck that. I'm going to America off top and I'm taking scalps because I want a title position. I like that. Now, do I think he gonna do some damage to the top people? Not Charlo right now.
hell
But
no.
probably not, I'm not sure if he beats Castano either, but that power is something else. And Gausha, Gausha's been wobbled. He's been dropped. Tim Zoo's got significant power, even though his boxing ability ain't all, ain't all it's cracked up to be. But we got to see. I haven't made a final prediction yet. But something in my gut tells me that Tim Zoo gonna fuck around and pretend and stop Gausha, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I think Terrell Gausha, if he just comes out, fundamentally boxing in that fight, I think Tim Tszyu, he might be in trouble. But I will agree with you. If Gausha just tries to go out there trying to knock him out early, then Tim Tszyu is gonna have a pretty easy night to knock him out. If he
No, he
loses,
not going. I don't think Gausha is going to do something stupid like that. I mean, Gausha is the far superior boxer. It's not even a question, just based on the fact that Tszyu doesn't really move his head. He kind of fights like Virgil Ortiz Jr., where he relies on a lot of his power. And when he faces a boxer that can also crack, he's going to be in some, some deep shit, which is why I think he loses to Charlo like pretty fucking badly. But yeah, no, but I had, like I said, not a final prediction, but I'm currently leaning that way. Having watched both of them fight, especially Terrell Gausha's fight. I've watched a decent amount of his fights, and
Yeah,
just sometimes when the pressure's on and he's dealing with punches and bunches, his defense crumbles, and he's not always able to recover, pivot, or defend effectively against the ropes. He'll just get caught and they'll turn into a punching bag and take a lot of punishment. And I'm not sure with Tszyu's power if that's going to be in his best interest, and he might not be able to wiggle out of that.
yeah, I definitely agree. I think like I don't know if you can like agree with me, but Tim is like Tim is pretty flat footed. I think I
100%.
think I think Terrell's going to take advantage of that, and I think Terrell he's going to use that lateral movement to try to get him off balance, and then like once he finds those quick little pot shot counters, I think he could definitely get him off balance to beat him.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Tim's just, like I said, Tim's just very flat footed, doesn't move his head at all, and relies mostly on his power. But, like I said, he does show some boxing ability. It's not as sophisticated as Terrell Gausha, but it's enough to match with the power where it can be dangerous. And I think that Gausha is going to have to be mindful of that. And, you know, like I said, my pick wasn't like a final prediction, but because I also see the fight being some crazy shit, like a draw, like maybe Tszyu gets a knockdown, but his boxing is so ineffective that Gausha is able to get a draw, or even Gausha winning by like a split decision or some shit. But like I said, Gausha has been dropped by some people that are lesser opponents than Tszyu. So we got to see. I mean, Tszyu's best win is a fucking former welterweight. So I'm not gonna go ahead and be like, oh, Tszyu's all this big shit. But also, even if Tszyu did get the W, I'm not gonna certify him off fucking Gausha. I mean, Gausha is solid and everything. That means he's a solid contender, but he's got a 50% knockout ratio. No titles. So I'm not about to be like, oh, Tszyu is like certified. Nah, nigga, you gotta put in some more work.
Yeah, I don't think Tim Tszyu is gonna make it that far in 154. And I think like the way he fights, just makes me think, he's gonna get knocked out eventually.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, shit. I think honestly, Tszyu and Virgil Ortiz Jr. at 154 is an excellent fight. That's a 50-50
Yeah,
right there.
that's a
That's a
good
good ass
ass
fight.
fight.
Yeah, but Virgil, I don't know what the fuck he's gonna do. He's gonna try to stay at welterweight and get his ass
Oh,
smoked.
Errol Spence versus Tim Tszyu. That's a damn good fight.
Yeah, that's solid. I mean, I think it depends on we got to see Earl at 154 and let him get past Ugas and Crawford if that happens. But yeah, no, that's also a good fight. But
Yeah,
yeah, I think in the meantime though, in between time, when Charlo finished wrapping this shit up, I also want to see my boy Charles Conwell get some spins. People ain't saying his
yeah,
name.
yeah.
Hopefully Pro Bellum moves him right to where he can get some good fights with these people. But yeah, nah, man. Yeah, that's an excellent fight. It's I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be exciting. Of course I'm rooting for Gausha to win. Gausha is American. He's Black American, so I'm rooting for him to win. But I just haven't made my final pick yet. I gotta watch some more tape. I've been working so much. I haven't been able to focus completely on this boxing. But yeah, I gotta watch some more tape. But right now my gut is telling me Tszyu because I'm just worried about him getting tagged, getting disoriented, and then Tszyu closing the distance.
Yeah, I agree. Um, I was going to add in on the Charles Conwell situation. I believe he's ranked number 6 or number 7 by the WBA, and I think he's like number 4 or 5 in the IBF. So
Let me look right now. Let me see what they got.
Yeah, Charles Conwell is not that far away from getting a world title. So
Well, it just depends on how these pro bellum motherfuckers want to move them.
yeah,
Super welter. Charles Conwell is number 7 with the WBC. He is number 5 with the IBF. He is. Oh shit! That's it. That's it. He's only ranked with those two.
wow, really?
Yeah. Oh shit! Hey, shit. Austin Trout is the number 4 with the IBF. Austin Trout, get your old ass in there and take that smoke, man. Shit.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
want to see because I definitely don't want to see Tony Harrison fuck around and fight Conwell. I don't even want to see that shit.
no, that's gonna be a knockout.
Yeah, it'll Tony Harrison to get his ass smoked. I don't want to see that.
Yeah, man, I don't want to see Tony Harrison get
that's gonna be a
like blown out and shit.
Yeah, but Tony Harrison next fight is against Sergio Garcia. I heard
What?
on the Spence Ugas. That's a good fight. Sergio Garcia is not some fucking super ultra dangerous, fighter.
Yeah, that's true.
Even his last loss, I thought was some bullshit. But yeah, he has 33 fights. Less than half of them have been by knockout. He's got 14 knockouts. So yeah, he's not like some super ultra mega dangerous puncher or anything like that. That's a good fight for Tony Harrison to see what he's got left. Because if he fuck around and lose to damn Sergio Garcia, it might be time to sacrifice his ass and get him out of there.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that draw that he had with Brian Perella needed a rematch.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. Because I know his father had just passed away, so I don't really hold that. I don't really hold that one against him. He was adjusting to a new training program with his brother being the coach, and your brother is not your dad, so I get all that. But yeah, if you're over here getting touched up by fucking Brian Perella,
Yeah, I was thinking he was not in the right spot mentally. So I think, I think for this fight, that's going to show a lot more differences, in his complete focus. So I think he's going to actually display higher level talents, and hopefully, he can solidify that.
yeah, I hope so. Definitely hope so.
Yeah. But I wanted to finish up with the other fight card on the Burchelt versus Nakathila fight card.
All right, let me pull that one up real quick and get
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah, yeah. Surprisingly, Carlos Caraballo, he's actually on this fight card.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, he's gonna be facing like a 9-6 Mexican fighter.
Yeah, people didn't give Carlos Caraballo no fucking respect. That dude was fucking undefeated, had all knockouts, and they only lost once to the Filipino dude Jonas Sultan. Yeah, but people weren't giving him any respect. I'm like, bro, this dude's a fucking monster. And he's fighting at fucking 118.
Yeah, he's not built like a bantamweight. I think he's more of I say at least like a featherweight.
Yeah, man, this motherfucker was straight demolishing these niggas and was getting no respect. Virgil Ortiz knockout streak gets all the respect in the world, but Carlos Caraballo over here not getting no recognition. This shit is nuts.
Yeah. But I just found that Jonas Sultan fight to be weird because I thought Carlos Caraballo did like enough to try to force like a draw or try to win that fight.
Oh shit, they got Josue Vargas coming back after he got exposed. Damn. Hopefully he has a better fight than they did last time.
Yeah, I don't know who he's gonna be fighting.
He is fighting a Nicholas Pablo DeMario, so basically a nobody who's 15-5-3, so he should be able to smoke that dude.
Yeah.
Damn, Top Rank always got like all these new ass. Top Rank is like, I don't know, is this like the new protocol now where all these new ass niggas are fighting each other? Because they got a motherfucker over here, Adrian Serrano, who has no pro fights, and then one dude who has one pro fight, which is a L. And then they got Arturo Popoca versus Juan Hernandez Martinez. They both are 2-0 in boxing. And then they got Dante Benjamin versus Kevin Johnson, which Dante has one fight, no losses. Kevin Johnson has two fights, no losses. So these niggas are like, they having all their fucking new booty fight each other. That's cool, I guess.
Oh, Delonte Tiger Johnson, he's on this card too.
Yeah.
Yo, I actually forgot that he was actually fighting on this card. God
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah, he hasn't. Yeah, he's brand new as well. They trying to test out and build up their whole little roster here. I like Tiger, but I just as far as welterweight goes, I need to see something.
Yeah, I don't think he got that tiger blood in him, man. I think he's like, he's a good decent fighter, but I think he needs to be tested to deep waters.
Well, yeah, we got to see. I mean, it's only his fifth pro fight, so how the top rank model is. Fucking your first 10 fights, they convince the world that you're Jesus Christ, and then you start fucking losing.
Yeah, I think honestly, eventually, like a lot of these like high level American rookies need to start, leaving top rank, and then I think eventually they're gonna have to cross over to the PBC. But I was going to ask who would you pick with the fights going on for the co-main event and the main event?
Mm. Honestly, Nakatila and Burchell is actually going to be It's actually a pretty tough fight. I mean, the experience favors Burchell definitely. He has almost double the fucking fights. But Shakur Stevenson said that Nakatila was one of the harder punchers that he'd ever faced. But Burchell can take a shot. He's not going to be weight drained. He's moving up, punches like a son of a bitch, and he has very high volume. So I don't even know. I'd probably go with fucking. It depends. Like I'd probably go with. I'm leaning toward Burchell, to be honest. But the thing is, he's been knocked out fucking twice. Like
Yeah.
he's like it's just hard. It's just hard because I think that Nakatila. I gotta watch him versus Galahad again. I think I like I gotta watch. I think I gotta watch him versus fucking. Oh wait, no, he didn't fight Galahad. I must be thinking of the other motherfucker.
Oh yeah. Like you're talking about shit. Who was that one fighter that Nakathila fought?
Fucking outside of Shakur Stevenson.
Oh, it was that Russian dude Evgeny Chukparov.
Yeah, he lost to his ass. There we go.
Yeah.
But well, that was in Russia too, and that was on MD, so we don't even know if that was a real loss. But this is another situation where I'm gonna have to go back and watch some tape before the weekend and like see what I'm dealing with here. I'm gonna have to rewatch him versus Shakur and him versus this other dude to get a more accurate take.
Yeah. I think personally, like Burchell's gonna win this fight, but it's not gonna be easy. I think both of these guys are gonna get hurt real bad, and I think Burchell, he's gonna try boxing first, but then like if he's not able to keep Nakathila, off of him, I think he's gonna try knocking him out, and I think it's gonna end in a late round TKO or a knockout victory for
Mm.
Burchell.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. But again, I gotta go back and watch some stuff because Burchell's been fucking knocked out twice, and this dude's a heavy puncher with almost all knockouts. So we gotta see. I think Baez is gonna take the win over Vivas. Baez just has a lot more experience. I think he's. I mean, not a lot more, but just with better opposition, I should say. So his experience has been more challenging. I think he's definitely a better, fighter on the inside. I think he does well closing the gap, getting his power punches off, stuff like that. So yeah, I think that Bias is probably gonna take the his fight in the co-main.
Yeah, I think so. I personally think Bias is going to defeat him. Just
Yeah.
simply because I think he presents better boxing skills, and I think Vivas he's such a lazy you know fighter. He doesn't have that much discipline on his defensive reads, and I think Bias he's just gonna basically outbox him, and then he's gonna just outdog him in the fight, making it harder for Vivas to actually make any counterplay to him.
Mm. Yeah, the only thing that sucks about this fight is that, I mean, outside of an active guy, it's probably going to end in a decision because neither one of these niggas can punch.
Yeah,
Which, neither, like, this motherfucker Baez, he got 20 fights and fucking 7 knockouts, and the other guy has like 21 fights and 11 knockouts. So these niggas can't punch for shit.
yeah. I find it weird that Vivas is fighting him because Abraham Nova was supposed to fight this guy back in January.
I want Abraham Nova to get that Navarrete fight. People saying that, Navarrete smokes him. I'm like, cool, make it happen.
Yeah, I think Abraham Nova's gonna get that fight because from what I heard is that the WBO they're either considering to either mandate the number one or number two contention placement to have Navarrete fight either Nova or who's that other guy, Isaac Dogbe, right?
Oh
um
my god, not Dog Bay again. What wouldn't that be a trilogy? He had his ass whooped twice.
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
How you
So
gonna have
like
ass whoopings 3 times in a row by the same nigga? What are you, Marquez?
I don't understand why Dogbe is number one because he didn't beat nobody to actually earn that spot.
Yeah, Dog Bay needs to get the fuck out of here. I'm tired of even seeing his name being referenced, bro. Sit your dumb ass down or move up and wait. Go do something else. Like, I'm not saying Dog Bay is dog shit, but god damn, I'm tired of hearing his name. And especially if you're gonna fight Navarrete again, you're probably gonna get your ass whooped harder this time. Like, you clearly didn't learn from the first fight because you did worse in the second fight.
Yeah, Dogbe got knocked out in I think in the first fight, right?
Oh, I thought he got knocked out the second fight. He got knocked out the first fight.
Let me double check that.
Fucking
I want to
dog
say that he
booty.
did get knocked out.
I remember everybody fucking hyping up this nigga Navarrete because he smoked dog booty. I'm like, bro, dog booty was never anything to fucking get super hyped about anyway. No, yeah, he got knocked out the second fight. He got stopped in the 12th. Yeah, like I said, he fucking went in the first fight, got decision, went in the second fight, did worse, got knocked out. I don't want to see this nigga fight this motherfucker again. I really don't. Just, man, I swear, make Dog Bay do something else.
Yeah.
He needs to move. He needs to move the fuck up and wait because I'm tired. He shouldn't be getting title shots, bro. And then, not to mention his last fight, people say that he didn't even really win that. People say it's incredibly debatable.
Yo, Christopher was beating the shit out of him in that fight. I'm not gonna lie. I thought
Yeah,
I thought Pitufo won, man. I thought he did.
this is exactly what I'm saying. So I'm tired of these motherfuckers getting title shots. It's the same as Josh Warrington this weekend. I've seen this motherfucker have his ass whooped twice. Why is he back in title contention again? Like, dude, stop recycling these motherfuckers. Get these dudes up out of here.
Yeah. But
Like,
on top of that, it's just like if like if the rankings mattered in boxing, shouldn't everybody be fighting each other in a round robin, style type of tournament, right? To make sure that they try to keep their spot, right?
uh, excuse me. I mean, yeah, that's ideally how it would go, but these sanctioning bodies allow for all kinds of horse shit and duckery and fuckery, which is why plenty of big fights can't get made because they got to protect their favorites. Like I said, I don't know who in Dog Base Camp paid the WBO, but fuck that shit, and they better not mandate that weak shit either. That shit is
Yeah,
garbage. Tired of fucking tired of watching Dog Booty get his ass whooped. I'm tired of watching Josh Warrington get his ass whooped. I'm tired of the shit. Like I'm tired of seeing Rosado get fights. I'm tired of seeing Granados get fights. I'm tired of seeing Chisora get fucking fights. I'm tired of seeing Josecito Lopez get fight. Man, fuck these motherfuckers, bro. Get them out of here.
Get them out of here.
Yeah, bro, dude, sacrifice their bitch asses and let's move on. Like I'm tired of this shit, fighting the same motherfuckers. And Bud talking about he fighting somebody in June. I don't know the fuck he gonna fight. Josecito Lopez is busy, nigga. So unless Keith Thurman getting his bitch ass off the couch, I don't know what the fuck Bud gonna do.
I thought Bud was gonna fight Josh Taylor.
He better not fight Josh pussy ass Taylor, bro. I mean, not only did I always assume Bud was gonna wash him even before fucking Catterall, but now Bud is gonna break his ass off horrible. Josh Taylor doesn't deserve shit, bro. Like I get tired of that. I don't want to see that shit. Like if he uses it to press his Mando status, whatever, he can get fucked up. I don't really care, but I don't want to see it, dude. It's not exciting. It's not gonna do anything. Bud is gonna get in there and fucking murk his ass. Like that's just weak.
Yeah, because let's just say if Virgil Ortiz is no longer a thought in the welterweight division, after he gets healed up, with that fucking medical situation. I think Jaron Ennis is below him, and then on top of that, I think Stanionis, he's below him, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Well, Stanionis is going to be busy, and Stanionis is going the WBA route. But Boots is number 2 in the WBO. Virgil Ortiz is number 1 in the WBO. But yeah, like honestly, yeah, if it's not Thurman, Boots, or Virgil Ortiz Jr., I think Crawford should just sit his ass down and wait till November like he did the last 2 years, and then Spence and him can fight in November unless the mandatories get on his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm tired of them fucking recycling garbage. Like, I'm so tired of that weak shit. That shit's trash.
Yeah, man. It like personally for me, like it just gets me pissed off how I see these fighters just get multiple opportunities and like basically they're able to just get multiple paydays, knowing that if people don't want to see you on television, then you got to work your way back up. So I don't get it.
Yeah, it's just like Ryder being talked about for a potential Canelo fight. Like, who the fuck is Ryder, bro? Because you robbed Danny Jacobs, man. Fuck out of here. Don't nobody want to see that weak shit. I don't understand these dudes. Like, all my favorite fighters, I never want them in situations where they're just gonna get in there and wash somebody. Like, I don't want Charlo in there where he's just gonna beat on someone's ass. I don't want Wilder in there where he's just gonna smoke somebody. I don't want fucking Haney or anybody in there because I think they're just gonna run over someone. That's just boring. That's just boring. It's not even entertaining to watch. Like all of Crawford's previous fights, I wasn't picking against Crawford. I knew those people were gonna get demolished. Like I don't want to see that shit.
Yeah, I agree, bro.
Like I knew Glass Chen Khan and Whack Ass Brook and Green Beans were all gonna get fucking destroyed. Like this shit wasn't fun. Like this shit wasn't even entertaining because I knew Crawford was gonna just like make these dudes look like bitches. And I'm just like, oh my god, like this is weak, bro. This is whack. Like these people stand no fucking chance.
Terrence Bud Crawford.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I knew he was gonna smoke all these people, and it's honestly unfortunate. It's the same situation with Tank. Like people like, oh, you're just you have personal things with Tank because of his resume, but you're discrediting his talent. I'm like, no, I'm not discrediting his talent at all. I'm simply saying that I'd like to see him in there with some other people. And if you think that Tank washes Devin Haney, great. That's perfectly fine. But at the very least, it's a fight where two people that don't fight like other fighters in the rest of the division can meet, and then we can actually get some questions answered. It's a fight with lots of controversy. It's a fight that's actually 50-50 no matter what you say it does. Because let me tell you, because again, I didn't get a chance to say it, even though I put it in the chat on a knockout show. All of the arguments for why Tank beats Haney are the same arguments for why Bud beats Spence. So if you're on opposite sides of that fence, you really need to reassess how you look at boxing because you're showing a severe lack of consistency. You're saying that Tank beats Haney because he's the better boxer. He has more knockouts. He has better punching ability, and because his background was harder. Okay, well, all that shit falls in line with Terrence Bud Crawford, and yet a lot of the people on Knockout Show that were saying that Tank beats Haney for those same reasons, they think that Spence will beat Bud. So it's like, do y'all see why that why like I'm looking at y'all kind of funny? like but it's all good. I mean, no offense to anyone over there, but that was one of my key points. I put it in the chat twice, but I didn't get a chance to review it or open it up to critique.
Yeah, that's why that I try to, say like the same thing to knockout boxing and contender and all those guys, because um as much as I like Devin and Tank, I'm not gonna sit here and say Tank is gonna beat the living shit out of Devin. Devin's not coming into that fight thinking he's going to just dog walk Tank and just sit up inside of the pocket. It's gonna be a very difficult, educated chess match where basically both fighters have to see have to stay switched on the entire night in order to actually display their full talents.
Yeah, and I really and again, one of the things I don't like is when people certify someone just because a fighter that they like struggled and or lost. It's what people did with Tiafimo versus Lomachenko. Tiafimo beat Lomachenko. I always assumed Lomachenko was a hype job, so I knew Tiafimo himself wasn't shit, and that was proven by Kambosos. But a lot of people came out and said, "Oh, Tiafimo's the truth just because he beat Lomachenko," and it's like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that because you're not rating these people honestly. It's just like when people try to certify Cruz because Tank fucking struggled. It's like, oh, well, I'm like, Cruz isn't some fucking master wizard. Tank just started doing the same move over and over again, spamming it like it's fucking Tekken, and Cruz caught on to it. His team knows that his fucking power shot is one shot. It's one, and I'm not saying he only has one punch, but his favorite default power punch is the rear uppercut, and his team knew that, and he was able to deflect it, and he broke his hand. Now people got mad when I said that he struggled with Cruz because they said, "Oh, he broke his hand." Breaking your hand in a fight is a struggle. I don't know where people went, but if you break your hand during a boxing match, that counts as struggle. If someone can glue their right hand to their chin and get you to break your fucking hand, that means you're struggling. And I understand they talk about the power differential and how he outboxed him. Yeah, he outboxed Cruz with one hand. That's not really showing how talented Tank is. That's showing that Cruz isn't shit as a boxer. The dude has no fucking jab. The dude doesn't do anything. He runs at you straight, puts his head down, and throws two punches. Like I really don't like it when people like hype up someone because their favorite fighter struggled against them or look good. It's kind of like what people do with fucking what's his name with Green Beans because he hit Terrence Crawford over the fucking head. Like, dude, Green Beans is fucking nothing. He's nothing and he's nobody and he's accomplished nothing and he's probably not gonna accomplish anything. Don't hype him up because Bud was vulnerable. That shit's annoying. Nah, I get sick of that shit. It's how do you think fucking Luke Campbell got a reputation? What, because he cracked Ryan Garcia over the fucking head? Dude, Luke Campbell's garbage. Ryan Garcia is just not that fucking good. I'm not saying that Tank and Bud aren't that fucking good, but all I'm saying is let's not fucking hype up their opposition because their opposition gave them some damn problems. Like, I don't like doing that shit.
Yeah, that's just insane, man.
It's annoying. And it's like he broke his hand. And I'm like, yeah, so he had an injury during camp. And then he fired off a bad shot, and then he broke his hand again. That means that hand's been injured twice now, and he's coming down from 140 to 135. So, yeah, so it's like that power. And then they tried to say, oh, well, as Haney goes up in opposition, he gets hit more. And I'm like, okay, well, Tank's knockout streak just ended. So is Cruz considered going up in competition? They got mad because they said he broke his hand. I'm like, yeah, that happens. I'm like, God damn, like it happens. That counts as difficulty, people.
Yeah.
And it's sad because I don't want Tank or Bud to lose at all. I really don't. But it's gonna take those two getting folded viciously for their like basis to understand some shit. Like, and you know what? I think this Rolly fight is going to be more interesting than people are going to give it credit. Because, like I was trying to say over there, Rolly is awkward. Rolly is weird. Rolly
Yeah,
is
he
unorthodox.
is not.
Yeah, and the worst part is
Yeah,
Rolly's a fucking idiot. Like Rolly, his trainer and them openly said that they use jujitsu and all kinds of stupid shit to fight in boxing. That level of that level of unorthodoxy is not something that Tank is used to, and it's gonna give him more issues than people let on. Like people were like, oh, he's gonna fucking slump and sleep cruise and all this shit. I'm like, yeah, and it didn't work out that way.
yeah. Um, I was going to say, Zarina had told me in the past that she trains with Rolly, and I think her and Rolly have the same trainer. But she told me the same thing that you're telling me now. Like Rolando, he's a very awkward ass fighter, and when he actually fights very intelligent, he makes you like actually like basically struggle to figure him out. And I think like the best fight that we could say that shows his pure potential in maximum skill would be the um I would probably say the Avery Sparrow fight, right? That could be like a good possible example where he actually got like comes out boxing, and when he's actually boxing you, he's actually really dangerous. As a fighter that possesses that type of skill, like on top of what the power. And I think Javante, if he comes into that fight very, very cocky and not try to like be defensive, defensively responsible, then I think Rolando, he could definitely deal some really big, big time damage.
Right. Now, I think that Tank should be able to go in there, let Rolly do whatever, get tired, and then stop him mid to late. That's what I think, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now, while we're recording, if Tank Davis, I don't give a fuck how lopsided the decision is. If Tank Davis goes the distance with Rolando Romero, I really don't want to hear shit else. I really no for real, bro. Because everyone every time you try to criticize, every time you're just talking about boxing and you're talking about Tank's deficiencies, everyone tries to like criticize because they think that you're part of the media crew that is being racist and just hates Tank specifically. No, we don't hate Tank, but we're simply talking about an honest comparison when talking boxing with two fighters. Tang doesn't like I said, if he goes the distance with Rolly, I don't want to hear shit. Because whenever you say that Haney beats Tank, people look at you like you're crazy. They talk at you like you're stupid. And I'm like, I understand everybody has strong opinions about boxing. That's great. But stop making it seem completely unrealistic that somebody that's not a fucking ridiculous puncher beats Tank. Because again, who the fuck is Isaac Cruz? I'm not saying he almost beat him, but he's not this uber skilled fucking person, and he made Tank struggle. And yes, Tank broke his fucking hand. I get it. I get it. I get it. He made Tank struggle. That's a struggle. Like I really don't care how you wanna frame it, how you wanna look at it. Breaking your hand during a fight because you're throwing the same punch and you break your fucking hand on someone's forearm, that's called struggling. Like
Yeah.
it's like I don't understand why people get mad when you say that. He struggled. He broke his hand and he struggled. Like you're as a fighter, you can be in situations where you struggle. It's okay to struggle. And in all in Devin Haney's fights, people use the same talking points the media put out there. Well, with Linares and Jojo Diaz, he was getting touched. Yeah, that happens in boxing. But in Tank's last two fights, Tank was outlanded for 12 rounds. In Haney's last two fights, he was outlanded for 5 collectively.
Yep.
So and I put that in the chat as well when someone tried to talk about Haney's lack of defensive responsibility. I'm like, that's all the nigga's known for. What are y'all talking about? All he's known for is being defensively responsible. That's why out of all the top lightweights outside of Tank, he's never had his ass hit the canvas. And people talk about his chin ain't shit. And I'm like, dude, y'all have seen Lomachenko, Teofimo, Kambosos, and Ryan Garcia all hit the fucking ground. And this is where people are just repeating after the media at this point. And these are black folks. The black folks are repeating fucking Steve Kim talking points. I'm like, wow, all right, you guys are something else. Like when I was talking up there, never once did I mention sparring. Never once did I mention Mayweather. Never once did I mention Tank's resume or any shit like that. I just simply was going based off what I've seen. And that whole, oh, Tank's a real tough guy because he's from Baltimore and didn't have any parents, man, fuck that shit, all right? No. Like, I'm sorry that Tank had to grow up like that, but fuck all of that. I'm tired of hearing that garbage. Like, I'm really, really sick of it. It has no fucking bearing on boxing. And I understand that that's what makes Tank attractive to a lot of people, especially black fans, because that struggling upbringing is what we're used to. Because we've been conditioned to believe that black kids aren't supposed to have shit. And that's why a lot of people don't fuck with EJ. That's why a lot of people don't fuck with him, because he grew up in a fucking stable household and shit. And
Errol Spence is like Grant Hill.
Yeah, they don't want to say. Yeah, they don't want to say it, but it's because Errol Spence doesn't have the typical fucking backstory where he was raised in poverty and struggling and didn't have parents and all that shit. Like, no one, like, dude, that's not how you're supposed to live.
No.
Like, I keep having to remind people, black folks are supposed to have money. Puerto Rican folks are supposed to have money. Like, I don't expect Puerto Rican people to have Berlonga's fucked up backstory. Like, that shit's garbage. No. That's why, like, when Top Rank tried to market it, I was like, okay, cool. You can talk about his parents' street cred, but that doesn't help him in a boxing match. And clearly it didn't fucking help.
Yeah. But that's what gets me pissed off, because it's like, I don't want to, tell, like my future children to look up to those type of fighters. I want my kids to look up to guys like, Errol Spence that, actually got his success by working hard and being built around with the right people to get to where he needs to be. So
yeah, like that, and most importantly, none of that shit, none of the niggas on the street corner or whatever are gonna be in the ring fighting for you. None of you being hungry at night and summoning all of that. Like, yeah, I understand that Rocky movies, they turn that shit into determination, but none of that bullshit matters. It's kind of like when people ride Lomachenko's dick for fucking it's kind of when people ride Lomachenko's dick for his amateur career. Bro, none of that shit fucking matters. Teofimo don't have 2 gold medals. None of that shit mattered. Salido didn't have 2 gold medals. None of that shit mattered. Like, I get so fucking annoyed with that shit. People, that's why whenever people start talking about Tank or Lomachenko, they're always talking about like some personal shit. Like, none of that fucking shit matters, bro. God damn. And again, if it turns out that Tank goes in there and knocks Devin Haney's head off, great. We had a great fight. And if he goes in there and demolishes everyone from here on out, great. We had a great fight. Fantastic. No one is diminishing, Teofimo's skill. I mean, Tank's skill. No one is diminishing his boxing ability or his boxing IQ. Again, they see the racist media and they think that anyone that thinks that Tank loses to Haney is on that type of shit. No one's saying that. No one is saying that. I'm simply just going based on what I've seen.
Yeah.
But that's why it's such a good fight, because neither one of those individuals fight like anybody else in their division.
Yeah, I agree.
And I disagree when people compare Haney with Floyd. Yeah, Floyd is not Floyd. Tank is not Floyd. Fucking Haney's not Floyd. I don't even understand where those comparisons came from. Neither one of them niggas are Floyd. Floyd would probably demolish both of them niggas, to be quite honest. But yeah, man, it is what it is. I just I don't know, like people get really stuck in their opinions, and then like some of their logic has been shown to be inconsistent over time. So, but like I said, I think this Rolly fight gonna tell us a lot, and I hope it doesn't get canceled again. Because if it goes how I think it's gonna go, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, because I'm considering wanting to actually go to that fight, but knowing how these ticket prices are, I think I'm probably gonna have to sit that one out.
Where the fuck is that fight?
That's in Brooklyn. That's at the Barclay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well.
Shit, I might want to pull up for that, but that is too expensive.
Yeah, that might be on some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nah, man. Like I said, I mean, it should be a good fight, and Tank should stop him because, like I said, bro, if Tank even so much as goes the distance with Rolly, I don't want to hear jack shit. I don't want to hear shit else. I don't want motherfuckers talking about how skilled Rolly is. I don't want motherfuckers talking about how well, Rolly's this hard ass puncher. I cannot stand that shit. Don't talk about how the man wasn't shit before the fight, and then when he goes in there and your favorite fighter fucking struggles, I don't want to hear about how all of a sudden Rolando Romero is the ultimate badass that no one gave any respect to. I don't want to hear that garbage. Like I get so fucking mad when people do that. It's like when all of Canelo fans talk shit about Canelo's opponents, and then when Canelo gets touched up a little bit or he goes the distance, all of a sudden it's like, oh, he was a top guy. Blah, blah, blah. Like, man, fuck that shit. Fuck that shit.
Yep.
It's just like what he did with fucking Chavez Jr. This nigga's one of the most infamous quitters in boxing. Canelo goes 12 with him. Oh, Chavez Jr. is just former world champion who's blah, 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 blah. Man, no, fuck that shit. It's just he not all that. It's just like how Jacobs, no one gave a fuck about Daniel Jacobs until he fucking lost to Canelo to Triple G and Canelo in that order. Then all of a sudden Jacobs became the ultimate badass. That's why even though Ryder lost to Jacobs and he got the victory, oh well, Ryder's obviously earned the Canelo fight because he beat Danny Jacobs. Blah, blah, blah. Bro, that shit gets on my fucking nerves. Like
Yeah.
I can't even describe how infuriating that shit is. Motherfuckers go from talking shit, all of a sudden their opponent's good. And as we get closer to the fight, I don't want to see anyone change their fucking energy. Rolly Romero's gonna be dog shit before the fight. He's gonna be dog shit after the fight. If Rolly Romero has any success, that doesn't mean that Rolly Romero is somehow fucking good. That means Tank has shown deficiency, and it's okay to say out loud because there are things that everyone needs to work on. But don't fucking big up somebody because your nigga lost or your nigga look like shaky at points. I get sick of that shit. Because Isaac Cruz ain't about to do no real damage at 135. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. But I appreciate the conversation because unfortunately, like I have to get going. But
Oh, no problem, bro. Thank you for having me on.
yeah. But we definitely have to do this like again. And do you have any like final words? Before we get up out of here.
Nah, man. Like I said, I'm looking forward to both cards. I'm gonna watch some more tape. So no one interpret what's been said here as my final predictions. But currently, I'm leaning towards Tszyu taking it and against Gausha, and I'm leaning towards Burchelt taking it over Nakatila. But we gotta see. I'm excited. I'll be watching the fights. Probably working this weekend as well, like I have been. But yeah, thanks for having me on, and y'all have a good one. Y'all need to subscribe, man. Crowd be having the fucking plug on a lot of these fighters that y'all be really wanting to talk to, but don't have any way to get in contact with. Y'all niggas, this channel needs some more respect, to be honest.
Hey man, who knows? Like maybe in the future, like I might have Jerron Ennis or somebody. Who knows?
That's what I'm saying, man. You be having the plug on a lot of this shit. Motherfuckers gonna be paying attention.
Yeah, and it's not like that I personally know these people. It's just that I just take time out of like my day to like try to reach out to them and you know thankfully like I've been able to get those opportunities set up together with those people. So I've been really happy to get those opportunities. So.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. Oh shit, I just switched over to the StreamYard. I've been watching fights in between. I didn't even see Spo J's question.
Oh
Okay,
yeah. Like I was
okay,
just about to ask you that.
Spo J. Okay, real quick because I know Croc got to go. Spo J. So this fight is easily giving me the most anxiety of all the fucking fights coming up. Like no shit. Like I'm most worried about this one. Lubin should be able to take it, and he should be able to take it by either in it. Lubin might need to stop this motherfucker based on what we've seen from Sergio Garcia. But
Yeah, he could stop him.
yeah, but that chin is so fucking fragile. I completely understand why you're giving Sebastian Fundora the edge because that chin is fucking just bullshit. But um, I'm gonna take Lubin. I'm gonna take Lubin by hopefully mid round stoppage by chopping that tree down and going to the body, or potentially even late. But I don't know, man. I'm just worried. But I'm gonna take Lubin by late TKO right now, and then we're gonna see.
Yeah, same here. But on top of that, I think if Fundora just catches him so flush, I think eventually Lubin he's gonna show those cracks very very early. But I think Lubin just needs to start rushing him early and try to beat him to the body, and then he could definitely knock him out, to a body shot.
100%. That definitely. And one thing I'm scared of is that I was watching Fundora versus Vishon Owens. Fundora throws good uppercuts on the inside. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, just Lubin's fucking god. This nigga's is like the Black Amir Khan, bro. Like this is without the speed.
Yeah, sadly.
Oh, it's so fucking annoying.
Yeah, I really hope Lubin wins this fight because I want to see him win a title. But I mean, losing to Fundora would be very devastating.
I mean, I think Jamel Charlo will still serve his ass up, but I mean, I don't think he'll get stopped in the fucking first round again, but I think he'll still get served up.
Yeah, I think Lubin's only chance to ever, to ever win a title is through a vacancy.
Either that or he just got to start knocking these niggas off before they get to that damn chin. Because the longer the rounds go, the more opportunity people got to touch his chin, and it's just like, it's just the fucking anxiety.
Yeah, yeah, but
Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna let you go. Thanks for having me up, bro.
oh yeah. Like most definitely, I appreciate you for coming on.
All right, you have a good one, man.
Thank you very much. Yep.
All right, bye.
All right, so thank you very much to the brother D Hive. Um, I just want to, say though, thank you guys for coming on through. I just figured that I give my quick little thoughts on, the potential fights that will be happening this weekend. Oh, also shout out to Julio Solis. He will be fighting Friday. I just got a recent text message from him, and yep, he said he will be fighting on that card. I don't know who he's going to be fighting, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a good, sturdy opponent. So I wish him nothing but the best so he can, live to see another day in victory. So shout out to Julio El Mancha Solis, and shout out to Eric Abraham out of the Schenectady area in the Capital District. He will be fighting Marcellus Walder. So yeah, I appreciate you guys for coming through. Be sure to like, rate, comments, and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching this live stream. And yeah, this is K Rod. Shit. This is K Rod signing out, and salute to the mighty LDBC. And I'm out of here, y'all. All right, thank you, and goodbye.